Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm excited. I got a fun guest coming up later in the program. Going to be visiting with Tatanka Means, and I've never talked to anybody by the name of Tatanka. I'm excited to chat with him. Tatanka is in a program called Saints and Strangers, and it's about the Mayflower and kind of the beginning of the first Thanksgiving, so I thought this would be a really cool thing to talk to him about right now. And it's premiering this weekend on the National Geographic Channel, but we're going to be visiting with Tatanka Means coming up later in the show. And I also wanted to share this, Heidi. A new study claims that recent children's cartoons have become more and more violent. They started doing some research on the cartoons that kids watch, and they're getting more and more violent nowadays. So
I would agree with that.
But here's the thing. When I was a kid, they had, Elmer Fudd shooting
rabbits. Please. There's no
ducks.
comparison to today's cartoons. None.
Anyway,
I mean, our stuff was very tame.
It was.
Very tame.
I'm glad I'm not a kid today. I do act like one. Coming up, I got some fun things to share. Thanks for listening on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
There's a group of 10 men that have been playing tag for the past 23 years, and they've gone as far as 300 miles just to tag somebody.
Oh, wow.
These 10 guys, they play tag.
That's ridiculous.
They apparently
they don't have a life.
Well, they got this hobby. They've been playing tag for 23 years.
Oh, that's funny.
At what point does somebody finally say, okay, I won?
There's no way to win.
Tag to the death? Is that what this is? I'm not sure. 23 years. Hey, a British company has developed a bacteria retardant line of underwear that you can wear for days and days without washing.
Ew.
So it's the bacteria cannot penetrate these underwear.
Yeah, nothing else is going to penetrate your underwear either if you're wearing underwear for 3 or 4 days.
So you're saying these are for single men? I know some single men that wear their underwear for several days the way it is.
That's just disgusting.
Had that conversation. Coming up, I've got a story so ridiculous, but you know it's true because you're going to hear it on the radio.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Heidi, you know it's true because you hear it on the radio. Take a listen to this. A man tried to get even with Uncle Sam at tax time. Now, there are very few people out there.
This never works out well.
No, there are very few people out there that say, I am so excited. It's tax time. I can tell you this. I had a client call me one year on New Year's Eve. This is a true story. Called me on New Year's Eve and said, hey, I never got an invoice for this ad that you did. Can you send that over to me? I was like, do you need it tonight? It's like, I can send it tomorrow. He goes, yeah, I'm just working on my taxes. I'm kind of getting ahead of the game. I'm like, that's what you do on New Year's Eve? Wow. Well, this guy, he decided to get even with Uncle Sam at tax time. He was irate about his income tax that he had to pay. So he paid Uncle Sam, sent this to the IRS, paid with a plaster of Paris check. So he took his check and made a plaster of Paris. It weighed several pounds. It was very heavy. He got it through the mail, but he wasn't all that bright because once the government cashed the check, it had to come back to him, and he was the one that had to actually hold it in his records for years, not them. He thought it was going to cause a problem because they'd have to keep this thing. No, they cashed it. Then his bank said, we don't want to hold it here. You get to hold the darn thing. So I would not try to do that. I can tell you, I remember reading a story about a guy that paid his taxes in change. Like all of his taxes, he paid it in change. Mm-hmm. And there was a big problem because the change thing broke open. And then he got in trouble for not paying all of his taxes. Like it didn't all make it there. Oh. So, you gotta keep in mind, folks, when you think you're going to get even with somebody, make sure that it's foolproof. This was not foolproof. The change thing wasn't foolproof. Just do it the right way.
There's no such thing as getting even. You have to always just do the right thing.
Do the right thing, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. If you owe it, pay it. If you owe something, pay it.
There you go. All I can say is, it's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Sometimes God even works in the lives of criminals. Heidi, Jada Coover of Sioux City, Iowa, was scheduled to appear in court on charges of attempted to tamper with an anhydrous ammonia, which is used to make methamphetamines. He was tooling around town on the day of his court appearance, apparently not intending to show up for court. He was in a truck suspected of being in a hit and run. Police spotted the truck. They pursued him. The brilliant mind of Jada thought, well, I'm going to run from the police. I'm going to hide in the courthouse. When he did, he parked his truck and ran into the courthouse and tried to barricade himself in the courtroom, the exact courtroom that he was scheduled to appear in at that very time. So he came. He was trying to outrun the police. He went
That's
to hide
hilarious.
in the one place that he was wanted, and he got there right in the nick of time. What are the odds of that?
That's hilarious.
That happened in Sioux City, Iowa, to a guy by the name of Jada Coover. So that's kind of funny. Coming up, we've got your moment of duh, and your scoop of the day is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
What's in a name, you might ask? Well, a man by the name of Osamu, he can tell you. Some residents in Port Townsend, Washington, just can't seem to get it through their skull that the name Osamu is not the same as Osama. They've been sending very angry letters to Osamu Okato, a Japanese restaurant owner, demanding to know if he's related to Osama bin Laden.
Lord.
So they're all upset because this guy, Osamu, it's a completely different name, not even from the same part of the world. But they're saying, hey, I think there's something up with this guy. Get this restaurant, Osamu. Wonder if he's laundering money for the bad guys. Turns out, no, he sounds like he's a very nice man, but he's just going, Kate, can you guys please just get my name right? I'm not the bad guy. We do have the scoop of the day coming your way. That is on the way in just a bit. And we've got a special guest coming up later in the program as well. Going to be visiting with a guy with an interesting name, Tatanka Means. He's with the TV program Saints and Strangers on the TV show, or I'm sorry, on the TV channel, National Geographic Channel. Going to be visiting with him in just a bit.
The scoop of the day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day, Black Friday. You excited?
I love Black Friday.
I'm not excited about it all. Walmart is going to extend their hours a little bit. They determined to top most other big retailers by opening at midnight on Black Friday. They announced they'll be opening at 6 p.m. Thanksgiving night. Their customers are told they'd rather stay up late than shop early. So there's some people. Would you rather shop on Thanksgiving or?
You know, I am, you know this about me. I am definitely more of a night person than I am a morning person. So I would rather stay up late than shop early.
Because Black Friday changed about 3 years ago. It used to be Black Friday. Now it's like Black Thursday.
You know, I'm torn because I still end up having to get up early on Black Friday because some of the stores don't. So I'm torn. There are some things I like about it and some things I don't. And honestly, having gone through 41 years of Thanksgivings, I know that by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, everything's pretty much done anyway. So there's no reason.
Well, claiming customers want to get away from their families.
Yes,
and shop
exactly.
earlier.
This is what I'm saying.
Best Buy is changing their schedule to 5 p.m. Thanksgiving Day. A spokesperson there says last year customers clearly showed they wanted to be out shopping on Thanksgiving rather than waiting for Black Friday.
And as an employee, I don't know that I would carry there unless you're out of town. Obviously, that's a different story. But when you're sitting at home with nothing to do, you might as well do something.
I like the idea of having the time to be with my family. So that's just me.
But John, where are you going to be at 7 p.m. on Thanksgiving night? You know as well as I do you're not still going to be with family.
Yeah, I'd rather that than have to be at work. Anyway, let's move on before we have a domestic disturbance in the studio. She's my wife, for those of you that don't know. Hey, if you ever gave a professor a sob story about why you couldn't complete an exam, just know if Mystery Collins could complete her test, anybody could. Here's what she had. She was in a hospital bed about to have a baby, and she took an exam. Her sister posted on Facebook that she had contractions 3 minutes apart, but she was still working on her psych test. She's a student at the University of El Paso, University of Texas in El Paso. So
Yeah, so no excuses.
Yeah. You having contractions? No, then get back to work. Facebook plans to launch an internet beaming satellite into space next year that will bring online access to people in sub-Saharan Africa. So they're saying, hey, you guys that don't waste time on Facebook, we're working on it. We're going to shoot a satellite into space to help you out, too. According to a Swiss study, chances are good that if you add a few years to your life, you could do that by taking the stairs instead of an elevator. If you're wanting to
Haven't
add
we
some more,
known this for years?
it says doing this over a 3-year period will dramatically increase your level of fitness. That's why I never use the elevator in our house. And the fact that
There
we
is
don't
no
have an
elevator in our house.
So I always use the stairs. New research suggests evidence of chocolate in what is now known as New Mexico, but from way before it was New Mexico. It goes back about 1,000 years, Heidi. A report in Proceedings of the National Academy of Science say the evidence was found in Chaco Canyon, dated between 1000 AD and 1125. Drinking chocolate was associated with a variety of rituals in ancient Central America, including weddings. But Patricia Crown at the University of New Mexico says she's not sure of its exact use in this area. They say getting chocolate was much harder than it was going to, now, because you can just go to a mall or go anywhere you want to get chocolate. Crown says the nearest cocoa plantation would have been about 1,000 miles from where they're finding this. They're saying somebody went a long ways to get this. And they said some of the chocolate from back then, they would sweeten their chocolate sometimes and mix it in with hot peppers. So
Ew.
I've never thought of hot peppers and chocolate together.
Ew.
They also said honey was available, so they would utilize honey in theirs too as well. Hey, let's move to our strange law. In Wisconsin, cheese making requires a cheesemaker's license. If you want to make Lindbergh cheese, you need to be a master cheesemaker with a master cheesemaker's license. There you go. Now you know. That's your strange law. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I've got a special guest joining me right now. I've got Tatanka Means, and we're going to be visiting with Tatanka about a program that's coming up called Saints and Strangers. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good. Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it.
We're excited to have you on the program. Now, the TV program Saints and Strangers, first of all, tell me a little bit about the program so folks listening can kind of understand what the show is about.
It's about the Mayflower, when they first left Europe and kind of immigrated over, and their journey about that and landing and setting up their colony Plymouth in their first year. During that time, the relationships with the tribes in the surrounding area.
And this is a program you're going to be able to watch on National Geographic Channel on November 22nd and 23rd, and then they're going to have some re-airings around the Thanksgiving time as well. So we'll be able to kind of get an idea as people are maybe celebrating Thanksgiving to kind of think about how this whole thing kind of got started. Now, how long have you been acting?
I've been acting for 10 years, actually, since 2005.
And what got you interested in becoming an actor?
Well, my dad was an actor first, and I kind of shied away from it just because I wanted to do my own thing. But eventually found my way back. I became a stuntman first, and I was doing stunts for a while. And then I was like, well, why not throw my hat in the ring for some acting? And I just kept trying, and one thing led to another, and here we are.
So now, what's more fun, being the actor or being the stunt man?
Oh man, stunt work was pretty fun. It'll get your heart going. Acting takes more patience.
So now, the character that you play, how do I say this? Is it Habamak? Am I saying that right?
You got it.
And Habamak thought that he was unkillable in battle. So that's kind of an interesting thing right there, just for your character to have that type of attitude. What was it like playing this character, and what did you have to do to kind of research this and get into being Habamak?
Yeah, Habamak is based off of a real person in history. I didn't know that. I didn't know of him until I was cast and started doing research on him. And he was an integral part of history. He played a big role during the time of Plymouth and the colony. He was a war chief of the Peconicut people, the Wampanoag people. He was the right-hand man and advisor to Massasoit, who plays the chief. Like I said, Habermach's role was very important because he eventually became the military liaison between the tribe, the Wampanoag people, and the Plymouth colony. So he was kind of the back and forth person eventually. And after a while, spending so much time in the colony watching over Squanto to make sure he was doing the right things, everything that he promised and said he was going to do, and watching over the settlers, he moved in with his family and stayed.
Visiting with Tatanka Means, he's one of the stars of Saints and Strangers on the National Geographic Channel. Were you familiar with the story before getting this role, or how familiar were you with it before you actually took the role here?
Yeah, I was probably as familiar as everybody else was from the school books, except my dad and where I come from. We know you got to read a little bit more into history. So we were always told, a little bit more about the truth of this time. So when I got to read the script and find out more, it was great to actually match up these characters in the movie with the people of history, And when you read books and you actually do research, it's really neat to just match them up. I mean, after seeing the movie and then reading about it, it's great to see them come to life on screen.
Now, this is a very serious movie, and it's based on a true story, but something that people might not know if they just know you as this character is that you're a comedian as well.
Yeah, I do stand-up comedy.
So how different is it being a stand-up comedian compared to being an actor or a stuntman? All completely different things, right?
Yes, all completely different things. They all involve humor. I mean, Native people, we love to laugh. People think we're so serious all the time, and we're not. We love to laugh. We love to have a good time just like everyone else. And, during this time, there was a lot of seriousness going on, but I think humor helped us to keep going forward,
Well, we certainly appreciate you taking some time to chat with us today, and if you're ever in the neighborhood, I'd love to come catch you do your stand-up comedy. I think that would be fun. I'm a big fan of comedy, and I see that you've won Best Comedian by Albuquerque, the magazine, and you've got other accolades for doing that, so you must be doing something right.
I hope so, I just, get up there and say things, and sometimes people like, sometimes they don't. But it's all ages comedy. I travel to a lot of reservations, visit a lot of young Indian kids, and try to tell them about the movies, try to tell them about the world, and I do it through comedy. So it's very, try to keep them entertained, captivated at the same time.
And I think the most important thing to say on that is that you're also alcohol and drug-free and very proud to be alcohol and drug-free, and that's something that no matter what your racial background, that's a good thing for anybody that's growing up to know that, hey, you know what, you can live this way and still have fun.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. That's true. I had to learn my lessons and learn them the hard way. But life is so much easier without all of that now.
Definitely. Again, been visiting with Tatanka Means. Tatanka, thank you again for chatting with us today.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. And please tune in November 22nd, 23rd, Saints and Strangers on the National Geographic Channel. It premieres, I think, 9 p.m. Eastern.
We're going to send them out to see it again. When you tune in, you're going to watch and check out Saints and Strangers. Be looking for Habermach, and that is Tatanka, the young man that we've been chatting with here. Check your local listings to find out which channel it is in your neighborhood, but it's the National Geographic Channel, and it'll be on premiering on November 22nd and 23rd at 9, 8 Central. And then, again, they're going to do some re-airings as well right around Thanksgiving, so you'll be able to catch it again if you miss it the first time. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, November the 19th. Today is American Made Matters Day, Equal Opportunity Day, Gettysburg Address Day, Great American Smokeout, Have a Bad Day Day. Today's also International Men's Day, Rocky and Bullwinkle Day. I like that. Use Less Stuff Day, World Philosophy Day, Women's Entrepreneurship Day, and World Toilet Day.
For the most part, this day is boring.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on, though. I like the Have a Bad Day Day. I wonder what that is. Because, if you're going to have a bad day, today apparently is a day to do it. And it's also Rocky and Bullwinkle Day. Did you ever watch that? Did you like that show?
I never loved it.
I liked it.
I remember seeing it, but I wouldn't say I was a fan.
I thought that was good. That was a terrible Bullwinkle impression. I apologize. I'll be quiet for a moment as we take a little break. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Go on vacation and lose some weight. We all know that vacations are good for our mental health, but did you know that they can actually be good for weight loss as well, even if we don't get too active? In the Washington Post, a dietitian claims that it says here, you may be more likely to lose weight than gain weight on your vacation. I disagree.
See, I don't.
Maybe it's where we go on vacation. He says that because you're out of your environment, your behavior-related eating habits are gone.
Yep.
You don't have ready access to a refrigerator, so you're just plain more active. You're out and about doing things. So they're saying when you're on vacation, you could actually lose weight. So I think we need to go on vacation.
I know we need a vacation.
It's been a while, but it would be kind of fun to go do something nice. Now, here's the problem. The last couple times we've gone on vacations, we've gone places like Las Vegas, where they've got these all-you-can-eat buffets. Do you remember the time?
I'm not a fan of buffets.
I know,
you keep dragging me to these buffets.
Do you remember the time we went with some friends, and they had a buffet pass, a 24-hour pass?
Oh my.
Miserable.
That will never happen again.
They were like, oh, hey, you can get this pass, and you can go to all of these different buffets as much as you want and eat as much as you want for 24 hours. And I was like, as a fat guy, I was intrigued. I was like, how much can I eat in 24 hours? I can tell you this. We didn't have many plans for the next day because we were all pretty much sick.
I would much rather order off of a menu at any restaurant than go to even one buffet.
Yeah, I don't mind buffets. I just you gotta make sure you do it right, because you can, like this, where they're talking about going on vacation and losing weight. Well, when I go, I typically gain weight because of dumb stuff like that. We did an all-inclusive vacation where
we've done those several times. That is the only way to travel.
Didn't I eat like a pound of bacon one time?
You did.
We were in a different country and they didn't have any food I liked. I'm like, oh, bacon, I like that. Even their eggs tasted funny, but I had like a tiny little bit of eggs, and then I had like a half a pound of bacon for breakfast every day. It felt very lethargic after that. And I'm like, what are you going to do the rest of the day? You can just go lay on the beach. That's pretty much all I can do. Anyway, they're saying if you want to lose weight, take a vacation.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Sometimes it's a good idea to look at the signs around you to make sure you're doing the right thing, including marriage. This might be the shortest marriage of all time, a marriage that lasted a few minutes.
Oh.
The couple had only taken the heed of numerous warnings that were being tossed in their direction. They might not have even gotten married. It took place in Kenya last week. A few days before the wedding ceremony was even to take place, the bride threatened to call the whole thing off because her groom, a milkman, had purchased a cheap wedding gown. That's one hint.
Good Lord.
Things weren't going to work out. Then, the day of the big wedding, the bride refused to get into the vehicle that was supposed to take her to the church, calling it junk. Again, another sign that...
sounds like she's...
Yeah. Are you getting the picture? This lady's not happy.
She's got issues.
She finally did make it to the church, and the pastor was about to marry the couple, and here, not even a joke, a huge python slid into the chapel and scared everybody. Nobody was hurt. Believe it or not, the priest insisted they continue, so they said, hey, we got to keep moving forward. And then rings. The ceremony continued, and the groom refused to hand over 2 wedding rings. Smart man. So in the end, they were married, but immediately after the whole thing was over, they removed their rings, they threw them away, and they got their marriage annulled. Their marriage literally lasted a few minutes. That's it. So next time you think maybe you're having a rough day, think about all the things that went wrong with those guys.
Well, he can do better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, she just sounds like she's a horrible, hard-to-please person.
Well, I don't know her. But coming up, we're going to talk about a cheesy reward that's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
Researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, I believe that's known as MIT, they say that rats have dreams, but they know some of the things they dream about. They entered the dreams of rats and found them busily working through their daily lab mazes to negotiate the day, and they discovered that mice perform specific tasks in the maze that produce very distinctive patterns of brain activity. When they repeatedly saw almost the exact same pattern reproducing during the sleep, they concluded the rats were dreaming about running through the maze. You know why?
Why?
So they could get to the cheese.
Ah.
It's evidence that not just animals dream, but they do have complex dreams, replaying the events in their mind, trying to figure out, what do I need to do to get more cheese? So apparently, that's kind of a cheesy reward, but apparently it works. I remember a book, Who Moved My Cheese? Remember this book?
Yes.
I bought that a couple years ago because everybody told me, oh, hey, it's such a great book. I got it. I'm not going to say it wasn't a good book. I did read it in one sitting. It's a tiny little book. I read it in a mall waiting for you. Do you remember this?
I don't remember that you were reading it in a mall. But
I was sitting on a bench. I read the whole thing while I was waiting for you in a mall.
I do agree that animals dream. I've seen our dogs have
do.
dreams.
And their little feet will start running.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what you're dreaming, but it must be fun. Coming up, we've got how models stay skinny. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Overweight stars, gorgeous models, and actresses often have bizarre methods as the way they stay thin and beautiful. Patricia Marks, author of the best-selling book, The Skinny, what is it called? The Skinny, What Every Skinny Woman Knows About Dieting and Won't Tell You, reveals what some women do. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
This sounds disgusting. Swallowing cotton balls dipped in orange juice to make you feel full.
Oh, my gosh.
That sounds kind of gross.
That cannot be good for
I
your...
don't think so. Doesn't sound good to me. Another thing that skinny women do, wear skimpy clothes in the winter to make themselves shiver and burn off calories. Okay. Go on intentional crying jags to burn extra calories.
Wow.
They're crying off the weight. Deliberately get intestinal diseases. Some women vacation in underdeveloped countries and drink the local tap water to give themselves intestinal bugs to lose weight. Yuck. Another thing women do is swallow tapeworms. So the worms lodge in their intestines and, and consume calories. Another thing this is a book that I don't think is worth reading. Convince doctors they have attention deficit disorder so they can get drugs like Ritalin and Dexedrine, which have side effects of suppressing hunger.
Ritalin helps you lose weight?
I have no idea.
What were we talking about?
What?
I can't pay attention. I think I need some Ritalin.
Didn't I? What did I have? Did I have Ritalin?
I think you did.
It didn't work for me.
You didn't have a very good dosage of it, though.
Next, take Valium to numb the urge to eat. Another one on the list of things I'm not recommending.
You're sleeping all the time. You can't function if you're taking... I've got Valium. You can't function after taking a Valium.
They say that they take over-the-counter medications and energy boosters containing ephedrine. Many girls believe these help burn calories faster. Also, it says they take strange concoctions like lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup and vinegar, and they think these mixtures help burn calories faster. And the last thing on the list of things I wish I wouldn't have even started to read about, if girls are really desperate to get thin, they can always give their mother-in-law a call. Because when they call their mother-in-law, they'll most of the time lose their appetite. I don't understand that.
I don't.
That's this lady's book, The Skinny, What Every Skinny Woman Knows About Dieting and Won't Tell You. Let's not do an interview with that one. All right, coming up, we do have some good news. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
Each day, as we wrap this program up, I always try to find something positive to talk about, and I thought this was just kind of one of those feel-good, neat little stories. There's a photo of a British barber giving a little boy with autism his first successful haircut, and it was all over the internet last week, and I thought it was kind of cute. Jim Williams of South Wales said he was finally able to give Mason the perfect haircut. You know what he had to do?
No.
He distracted him with an iPhone and let the little boy lay down as he worked with him. And he says it's amazing how this has touched so many people.
Why, was the kid... I haven't seen this. So was he afraid of haircuts? Is that the deal?
He had never really gotten haircuts because he didn't like it, and he'd be moving his head around and didn't want to. Anyway, he said, I'm amazed at how it's touched so many people, but I'm glad to see that it has, and I hope that it brings awareness for other barbers. So there are other barbers now that are going, oh, hey, that's a good idea.
Huh.
So if I've got somebody that's afraid, just give them an iPhone and let them, because the kid was like fully engrossed in what was this game he was playing on the iPhone, and he got a perfect haircut finally. First time ever. So that was a British boy with autism. And again, I just think it's a neat story. It was all over the internet. I've got a link on our Facebook page if you want to see it. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. It is time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much. And I know coming up we have a special day next week. It is 1 week from today, Thanksgiving Day. And I hope you guys come up with something fun to do. I hope you have a really special time. We're going to be here next week as well. We'll be talking to you about it. But I was just thinking of this. Consider inviting somebody to your Thanksgiving. If you've got friends that you think might be alone, consider reaching out to them this week and inviting them so they have somewhere to go as well. I'm not talking about us. We have somewhere to go. It's not like I'm building up to that. But I just want to make sure, because there are people who will most likely be alone next week, and we don't want that. So if you could have room at your table to invite somebody, reach out and do that. I think that'll make you feel good.
You know there's going to be tons of extra food anyway.
Yeah, I think that would be a nice thing to do. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Dollar Shave Club is a place that you can go to get razors delivered to your door, and it's only $3 a month. And that's including everything. It's $1 a month for the razors and then $2 for shipping. For $3 a month, they'll bring several razors to your door every single month. And all you got to do is click onto their website and get all the details. And you can see a funny video. You like that video too, don't you?
Yeah.
It's a funny video. It's a good video. Check it out. DollarShaveClub.com/radio. No kissing this bride, Heidi. You know why?
Why is that?
Well, because they had to cancel their wedding. Or at least delay it. Because the police arrested them.
Oh.
For fighting with each other.
Oh, man.
Before they had a chance to walk down the aisle. We're talking about a knockdown, drag-out, punch-throwing fist fight.
Wow.
So the ceremony at the posh Lil Nell Hotel in Aspen, Colorado was called off.
They might want to just call it off for good.
It might be kind of hard to reconcile right away because their $250 bond says they have to stay away from each other. So, yeah.
Yeah, they might want to just call that one off.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what they're fighting over. I wanted a 3-tiered cake.
Yeah,
no, you got a
who knows?
2-tiered cake. Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. Frank Flores led the highway patrol on a high-speed freeway chase. That is until he ran out of gas. How would you like that? You're on a high-speed chase and you run out of gas. What would most people do? Give themselves up, right? Or maybe jump from the car and run away. Well, that's not what this guy did. Frank Flores jumped out of the car and started pushing it. The officers decided to be nice.
He would have been better off to just run on his own
the officers
and leave the
decided
car.
they would do their part to be nice. They called a tow truck for him, but they arrested him first. So, yeah, hey, we can help you with that. Get a tow truck here. A crook in Louisiana wanted to get the job done right, so he practiced. Right outside of a suburban New Orleans sandwich shop, Cedric Washington practiced pulling his shirt up over his head to disguise himself. Then he went in and robbed the shop, and it worked. That is until they discovered that, oh, hey, we have a video camera out there. So they got a video camera of him
practicing pulling his shirt up.
Yeah, and they got a video camera shot of his face. Several eyewitness accounts helped the police track him down pretty darn easily.
Wow.
All right, I got some legal terms for you. Now, I just want to make sure you guys understand. I'm not an attorney. I'm not even going to pretend to be an attorney. What is that? Your computer's like wanting to update on you?
I don't know.
Does that have to be done now?
I'm not doing anything
Okay.
right now.
I just want to make sure it wasn't going to like crash. And
No.
all of a sudden, I was just talking to you. Between the two of us talking. I'm not saying that wouldn't be exciting. It would be. Well, here's some legal terms. Appellate. Have you ever heard that? Appellate. Like
No.
appellate court?
No.
I've heard that. They say that it's something you feed to a hamster. Pellet. If you don't like that, you might as well buckle up because these are all about that. Bailiff. Expensive dried up leaf used in cooking. Bailiff.
Yeah, you might as well just quit this now because
Capital punishment. What your congressman does after he's elected. Capital punishment. Chapter 11. The part where Matt meets Scarlet.
Yeah, I think you can probably just call this one quits.
Contingency fees. An amount greater than the gross national product of Panama. You don't want these? There's a couple more.
These are dumb.
Criminal justice. When the accused and the attorney both go to jail. That's kind of funny. Hearing, what a husband does after the honeymoon's over. Jury duty, what happens to you if you don't have a job, haven't read a newspaper, and lie about whatever you watch on TV. Because apparently if you have all of those things, you get out of jury duty. Is that what they're trying to say?
I don't know.
Lawyer, misspelled word for liar. Oh, that's not nice. I like our lawyer.
Our lawyer was wonderful.
Misdemeanor, a 6th grade teacher. Misdemeanor.
This is so dumb, John.
I didn't make these up. I'm just reading them. I'm doing my part. Perjury, when a law firm advertises we're only here to help.
Wow.
Plea bargain, a good price on fresh pleas. Oh, boy. Restitution, sleep disorder clinic, a restitution.
Oh, my God. These are so dumb.
Sanity clause, a fake fat guy with slaying reindeer. And the last one, trial date, someone you'll probably only ask out once. It's just a trial date.
Wow.
I just thought it'd be a fun time to share some legal speak with all the stuff we're going through, you know. All right, that's going to do it for the bonus break. Brought to you by you. You are so disgusted.
There are no words. I just don't even know what to say.
I mean, your body language says it all. And sadly, this is not video. People can't read it. But let me read the body language for you. She's saying, I am fully embarrassed that you just wasted our time. Our bonus break was supposed to be good things, like a bonus, and you wasted it on that? Well, don't blame me. Blame Darren. How's that sound? Thanks, Darren. All right, your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.